Jade, welcome to Manchester City. Firstly, just describe your emotions after signing for the club.
I'm so incredibly excited, so proud of how far I've come, and I just can't wait to get started.
And what attracted you to the project here at the City? Why did you choose to make the step here?
I think the history of the club, the fans, the style of play, the city, everything. I was really excited to make the move across the pond, and after speaking to the club, it just felt like home.
You mentioned speaking to the club there. What were the conversations with Therese and Charlotte like? What were the things you discussed?
I mean, there a wide range of things. Obviously, like how I'd fit into the team and where they saw me was, the core of the conversation. But a lot of it was how, I guess, like what life would be like here, how they see me progressing throughout my contract, how I can help the club, how the club can help me, just everything. And I think that, it just really felt like the place for me.
And as a player, how would you describe your playing style on the pitch?
I think I'm a versatile player. I can play both center back and fullback, so I can play across the back line. I'm a very attacking-minded center back. I love stepping into the midfield. I love getting the attack started from the back. And I think that's something that I bring to the game, is that I'm not only focused on the defensive side, but I love getting the attack going.
Does that almost feel, like you mentioned earlier, that this is the perfect place for you to play that style of football?
Yeah, I think that it's something that I've seen watching the team play is, I guess, like defense with the attack in mind, and not only defending to stop goals, but defending to create them as well.
And again, you touched on it at the start about moving across to England. Why was this the right step for you at this stage of your career?
I think the style of play that the WSL offers is something that I was really attracted to. I'm someone who likes to take care of the ball. I love living on the ball. I love possession-style soccer. And I think that's something that's very different, looking at North America versus European soccer. And also just the soccer culture, the way that the fans are involved with the players, the way that fans show up for the team week in and week out. That's something that I really wanted to be a part of.
What do you know about the WSL already? What are you sort of anticipating here in England?
It's an incredibly competitive league, which I'm extremely excited for. Some of the top footballers in the world play here, and I'm excited to not only get to train with them, but to also compete against them.
Going back to sort of your early sort of education in football, I suppose, just talk us through sort of the collegiate football soccer career you had at Harvard University, because we hear Harvard and it's a big institution, so just talk us through that.
Well, I chose Harvard because education's always been a massive part of my life and my journey. I think that having something to fall back on as a women's footballer is important, and because it's something that I valued when Harvard came with an offer, it's a hard school to say no to. Education's always been really important to my family, and like I said, when that opportunity came along, it was really hard to say no to. The coaching staff treated me like I was one of their own children, and that prioritization, again, really felt like home, and that's the same feeling that I felt when talking to City, and I think that's why I knew that it was the right decision.
For those in England who may not know the structure of college football or college sports, could you just sort of explain how that leads to the professional game, and obviously you playing for Canada as well?
So the collegiate game is very different than, I would say, the international stages. We play a very short season. It's only August through November, December. So it's a very short season. You have the springs to train and focus more on the individual side of the game. So whatever you need to improve on, that's usually what the spring's used for. It's only 4 years, so it's a very short cycle, I guess you could say. And there's this constant cycle of players coming in and out, just because you have an entire class that graduates at the end of the year. So the team shifts and changes so much year to year. And I think that's very different to other environments. Harvard offered a very unique environment in that it attracted players from across the world, and half of our team was international. And so that's another thing that really attracted me to Harvard, was the opportunity to learn from other players. One of my teammates, Josie Hasbo, plays on the Danish national team, and we have a couple of girls who play on the Icelandic national team. And so being able to learn from different players around the world was definitely a plus that Harvard had.
And you're hugely experienced on the international stage with Canada. How do you think those experiences will help you arriving here at City?
I think that the international stage forces you to adapt very quickly to different styles of play. And I think that that's something that I'll have to face here at the professional level. Playing against world-class players is something that you deal with on the international stage, the pressure that comes with games and the magnitude of, every single game matters. And I think that that is something that, playing at the professional level, that week in and week out, you have to win games, you have to perform, and that's the same thing that you face at the international level. Every single time that you enter into camp, every single time that you're in competition, those games matter, those points matter, and having to perform, at a moment's notice is something that you practice there and that I'm going to implement.
Looking at your career so far, we can see just how much importance family have on you and how they shaped you. Can you just describe and talk how that has shaped you, of your sister as well as a professional player too?
Yeah, so both my parents grew up playing sports. My dad played American football and my mom played football herself, and so athletics was kind of always in the picture for my family and I. Like you touched on, my sister also plays football. She's currently in the collegiate system herself at SMU. She recently had her first cap with the women's team, and so growing up alongside her and going from playing in our local park to then playing on the world stage with her was a dream come true. And so, yeah, it's always been the center of my family. My younger brother also plays football, and so it's always on the TV. It's always on the TV on the weekends. It's a constant, point of conversation. And, you could also say that our family is one of the most competitive families I've ever met. And I think that that drive has helped me become the athlete that I am today. So, yeah.
And just finally, what would you say your personal ambitions are for your time at the club, and do you have a message for the fans?
I'm just super excited to get started. I'm ready to win Champions League. I'm ready to win every trophy that's out there. I think the sky's the limit for this team, and I can't wait to grow and to get at it.
Well, Jade, thank you so much for your time, and welcome to City once again.
Thank you so much.